What's up, guys? Thank you for tuning in to the Uncommon Mindset podcast. Today, I'm joined by a very special guest. Today, I'm joined by Ethan Crelinsten. I'll just give you a brief background on who Ethan is. Ethan is a Canadian professional submission grappler and a student of both John Danaher and Firas Zahabi in Jiu Jitsu, representing the New York-based Renzo Gracie Academy and Montreal's TriStar. Ethan gained notoriety, particularly in Jiu Jitsu's no-gi circuit after his win at the North American ADCC Trials in 2018 and 2019, as well as his many wins over established pro athletes while being a colored belt. He's a black belt now under John Danaher and is part of the Danaher Death Squad, which includes the likes of Gordon Ryan, Garry Tonon, Nicky Rodriguez, Craig Jones, Nicky Ryan, and more. In other words, absolute killers. You are definitely an uncommon individual, and what an honor it is to have you on the podcast today.
Thanks for having me on, man.
No worries, Ethan. I want to start off by asking, I ask all my guests this. Can you just talk to me about your upbringing? What was that like? Like, when did you get into jiu-jitsu?
My upbringing. So I had a super supportive family pretty much my whole life. Started getting into jiu-jitsu around 19 years old. 18, I started getting into like MMA. I started sparring at TriStar, started getting into that a bunch. Then I wanted to do my own fight, and the guys at TriStar were like, so I want to do my own fight before trying any jiu-jitsu. So like an MMA fight, and the guys at TriStar were like, you're insane, you're gonna get submitted, you have to do jiu-jitsu. So I tried it for a month. I basically got fucked up and I loved it, fell in love. I competed, did well, and I pretty much just put everything aside and went full force into jiu-jitsu and really never looked back, and that was it.
Nice, man. When did you actually move to New York then to train with John?
I think I moved to New York 20 that must be, let's see, so it's 2021 now. I must move there like 2016, I think. 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
In between then.
Did you know, like, did you know that was the place that, you know, you're going to stick at?
Yeah, you know, Gordon came up, Eddie Cummings came up. They're telling us basically, you know, there's a professional team down there that focuses specifically on jiu-jitsu and submission grappling. John had been, you know, Firas's instructor. Firas is a black belt under John. So I sort of got the feeling that was the for jiu-jitsu specifically, that was the higher sort of step to getting more professional training and becoming sort of more serious in it. So I started making those trips down, and they're all really cool, man. All the guys, Gordon, Gary, Craig. Well, before, I guess back then Craig wasn't there, but you know, Nicky, John, they're all super cool to me. They were like, every time I would go, they're like encouraging me to stay longer, and whenever I would leave, they'd give me shit. I was like, wow, they really want me to train here. So it was a cool feeling, man. It was nice to feel so welcome, and the training was brutal. The training was intense. It was consistent. It was organized. It was just it was great, man. Every time I would leave, I'd feel guilty that I wasn't training as hard as I could be. So
yeah, that's class. Yeah, that's amazing. I know, like, you know, I watch a lot of jiu-jitsu and all the people that, you know, you're friends with, and I know that you've moved out to Puerto Rico now with the whole squad. What's that whole experience like? Like, why did you guys move to Puerto Rico?
Man, why did we move to Puerto Rico? Let's see if I could switch this camera. So this is,
I don't blame you.
Pretty much why I moved to Puerto Rico. Well, me specifically, I'm sort of just going with the flow. The main guys were looking at it as a tax break. I think you get some like really good tax deductions if you move out here and you apply for something. So that was a big part of it. The weather is definitely a big aspect. As for my personal reason, I'm just sort of following the team, going with the flow. You know, they were in New York and I happened to be close to Montreal, so I'd go back and forth. Pretty much if they were anywhere, I would have had they had the connection that they did, I would have found my way there, and that pretty much would have been it, you know. But yeah, Puerto Rico is where the team is, so I'm going to Puerto Rico, man. That's it.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I can see
Yeah,
the stories and stuff. It looks incredible. Like I bet you're having the best time of your lives out there. That's amazing.
it's awesome out here. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fun, man. It's fun.
No, of course. I want to talk to you
Yeah.
about this as well, Ethan. My head coach is Ash Williams, and I know that.
Oh, Ash Williams, man. Yeah,
Yeah, and he's my head coach. I'm a blue belt under Ash, and
cool,
you
man.
know, he's such an incredible guy, and he always talks highly about you and like, you know, everyone in your team and stuff like that. I want to talk to you about the fight that you had with him because I know it was
Yeah, man.
such a great fight. Like it was an incredible fight to watch, and it was just a fast-paced fight. What was going through your head when like that fight was happening? Like, did you ever think that, you know, like you had the upper hand in that fight or anything like that?
Yeah, we threw everything we had at each other, tried to tear each other apart in any way we knew how. It was fast paced. I remember everyone saying that. It's weird, like during the matches, I'm not sure if Ash felt the same way, but like in the middle of the match, you don't realize how much is happening in the short amount of time that it happens in. Like guys tell me like I have a good pace and I don't get tired. Like in the match, I definitely like, I'm sure maybe Ash felt the same. Like I was definitely getting tired. So I feel like it was just a normal pace, but everyone tells me it was like a fast paced match. So there's that sort of discrepancy in what people tell me and what I felt about the match. It was fun though. It was back and forth. It could have gone either way. You know, I definitely felt I had the upper hand in some ways, and I'm sure he felt he had the upper hand in other ways. But like when it's that close, it could go either way, and you know, it's just a reason to run it back. Once everything opens up, I'm definitely going to get out there and call him out, and we'll get another match, and for sure it'll be a good time.
Definitely, man. Yeah, come back to Wales. That'll be an amazing time.
I'm on my way. Trust, it's a matter of time, man. Just gotta open up the world again. That's it.
I know, yeah, no, of course, of course. Yeah, I want to talk to you about your mindset as well, Ethan. Like, what goes through your mind before a fight? Do you ever get nervous? Like, do you have like a thing that you do, you know, before every fight? What's that process like for you?
Yeah, so I definitely get, you know, those like pre-match anxieties. Just try and manage them. Just warm up, get a sweat, listen to some music, think about, you know, what's the first thing I'm gonna do when I come out? What's the first thing I'm gonna do? You know, play it safe, don't go too crazy. And once you're in there, like you know, like once you're in there, sorry.
No, you did.
Once you're in there, then it's you're good to go. Like once you get that sweat going, once you break through the first minute, 2 minutes, then it's sort of smooth. So it's really just, I definitely, to answer your question, I definitely get nervous, you know, but it's like nothing out of the ordinary, just normal nerves. And sort of the better you warm up, the more you're prepared, the more you're actually, you know, I know I trained for this. I know I'm ready. So not a big deal.
Oh, that's class. Yeah, that's amazing. What are your goals as well now? Because I know you're going to be fighting Cade on the 30th of
Yeah.
April, right? I can't wait to watch that. I spoke to him the other
Oh, wait,
day.
man.
It
Yeah,
was amazing. Yeah, it was amazing to talk to him and Ty, and they're amazing people as well.
they're cool, man. They're cool kids. You can't not like those guys, man. They're
Yeah.
awesome. All
No,
smiles, good times, man. They're cool.
yeah. Yeah. So what are your goals then? Like, you know, let's say for example, you fight on the 30th now. Are you looking ahead of that, or are you just focused on that at the moment?
No, I mean, I'm definitely not looking past Cade. He's going to be tough. He's going to be ready, and you know, I expect the last time we faced each other was definitely a good scrap. It was like Ash, you know, it was tough. It was back and forth, and you know, I think I definitely am able to win, and I think I definitely will win if I play everything correctly and play to my game, play to my strengths. That being said, I'm not looking past Cade. I'm definitely ready and focused on that match. But there are things, you know, like we're all professional athletes. We don't plan only 1 month ahead, and that's it. Like there's definitely other events on the horizons, other potential opponents. But yeah, did you mean like, do I have another match lined up, or do I have any other events lined up, or?
So like most people I ask this who are in jiu-jitsu, they always mostly say that the ADCC is the main goal for
Yeah, for sure, ADCC. Yeah, that's almost, that goes without saying. You know, I completely forgot. Yeah, ADCC. It's a while away. I think it's going to be like the trials are only going to happen around the end of 2021, so like September 2021. So it's still far away. It's definitely the like whenever I'm training, I'm training with the like rule set in my head, with the mindset of an ADCC style match, like how to score and how to not get scored on matters to me the most when I'm, in terms of prioritizing what I do in each scramble, and when I stop, when I feel like I'm ready to score points, when I feel like it makes sense to go for a submission. Wrestling, a lot of wrestling, wrestling from guard, learning how to score under ADCC rules, like all that stuff's definitely playing into my head. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I really believe that you're going to be in ADCC 100%. When it comes up.
Thanks, man.
No, that'll be amazing to watch. Yeah. I got to ask you as well. Apart from yourself, who's the funniest in the Danaher Death Squad? Would you say?
Who's the funniest? Oh, I mean, apart from I'm not the funniest one by far, man. I'm not. I'm just normal, nothing crazy. Funniest one, I gotta give that to Craig, man. This whole Gabby ordeal is just too good, man. Too good. These edits, I don't know who puts together these edits of Craig just doing that dumb shit, but oh my god, man, it's cracking me up, man. I love it. It's got to be Craig. Funniest guy in the DDS, got to be Craig. Yeah.
Craig, yeah, no, yeah, that's amazing. I gotta ask you as well. How do you guys deal with? Because I know a lot of on social media and stuff, a lot of people give hate towards the Danaher Death Squad, especially like with Gordon Ryan and stuff. I look at it and I'm just like, he's one of the best in the world. What he's doing is working, right? He's an incredible person as well, for sure. How do you guys like deal with that? Do you guys just like laugh about it, or what's the process like with that whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, look, Gordon definitely has marketed himself very well. He's gotten everyone in the sport to watch his match. Some people watch to hope he loses. Some people watch because they know he's going to win. But no matter what, they're watching him. So that's just insane what he's done. It's never been done before, and it may never be done again in jiu-jitsu the way he's done it. And for the people who hate him, that definitely trickles down to the rest of the team. And it's just funny to me. Like, I never did anything to them. They just hate me because of my association with Gordon, which is fine. Like, it's, we're on the same team, and we're going to, if they want to hate one of us and therefore all of us, then that's totally fine. That's, it's just funny. It's just, who cares,
Yeah, no, that's a good mindset to have, for sure. 100%.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll ever go back to MMA? Because I know you started off with MMA, right? Do you think you'll ever go back to it?
I don't think I'll ever go back to it. No. I think if I were to do MMA, it would be in another lifetime, if there is a sense of that. I think it's not my focus. It's not going to be my focus. I think, maybe I'll change my mind after accomplishing what I want to accomplish in grappling. But for now I'm sticking to grappling. Yeah. But who knows, I'll change in a year, 2 years from now. We'll see. But for now, fully into grappling.
That's awesome. Yeah. What would you say is your biggest accomplishment so far?
Biggest accomplishment? I think the biggest accolade I can say for myself is the 2 times trials. I'd say that's pretty much the big one. I think that's like the main 2 for me. Winning trials twice is definitely my most prestigious wins. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Both times all subs except one match. Yeah.
That's class. No, yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. Also, I got to ask you as well, if you could go back in time, I asked this to all my guests. It's kind of interesting, the answers I get. What would you tell
I ask myself that all the time.
Yeah, what would you tell yourself if you could go back in time?
What would I tell myself? Shit, what would I tell myself? I'd tell myself a lot. I would tell myself, So how far are we going back here? Let's see. If I were to go back before jiu-jitsu or halfway through or what?
It could be before jiu-jitsu, like as you were
Before
starting,
jiu-jitsu.
maybe. Like, is there one thing
I tell myself to wrestle more. Grow, like at the beginning, wrestle like just as much as you do in jiu-jitsu. I think that's what I would tell myself. Yeah. Because now I'm kind of like playing catch up with the wrestling, you know, and I feel like if my wrestling was as good as it could be, if I had trained wrestling from the beginning, from the get-go, then I think I'd be a much harder to beat grappler.
That's interesting you say that. Yeah, a lot of jiu-jitsu fighters, they start off and they don't want to do wrestling, right? All they want to do is just do, groundwork and stuff like that.
Yeah, man, wrestling's hard. It's a lot easier to just play guard, and not a lot easier. It's just less, well, easier in the sense of cardio wise, I guess. Cardio, muscular endurance. Like wrestlers are fucking tough, man. Oh my God. It's not easy. It's definitely not easy. Playing guard is much less physically tiring than actually wrestling, over the course of weeks and months and years. Yeah,
I can see that in Nicky Rod as well. He's an incredible wrestler, right?
Dude, exactly, man. Look at how far he got. Just good wrestling base, especially at that weight, man. You could go very far with wrestling and jiu-jitsu for sure.
Yeah. I gotta ask you as well, Ethan, like, how do you overcome like a loss? Do you read books? Do you like just review what you've done and then come back and work on it? Like, how do you deal with a loss and overcome
How do I deal with a loss?
It could be in life as well. It doesn't have to be just jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. Okay. So definitely the first thing I want to do is just get back into training and get back into a routine. Surround myself in a immerse myself in a way of going about my day that's just organized and responsible, routine oriented, less distractions, and just sort of clear my mind and get back into training and make sure, I trust that I'm getting better. Losing a match or tournament is demotivating no matter what. It's, some people say like you sort of rush to the gym after a loss, but after a win you tend to disappear and do your own thing. For me, I've personally, I don't know, maybe other people agree or disagree, I found this the complete opposite. When I win, I'm way more excited to go to the gym the next day versus when I lose. When I lose, I'm like, shit, what am I even doing? Am I even getting better? This and that, all those stupid questions. But yeah, I find after a loss, it's the most important thing to do, to just get back in the gym. Make sure, if you don't have any injuries, you don't have any setbacks, just make sure you're healthy, make sure you're doing your things responsibly, and look at what went wrong in the match, and look at where you would put yourself and what you would do differently if you could go back. And then keep that in mind when you're training. When you're going live and a position sort of repeats itself and you see yourself doing something similar, work on changing it. Don't just sort of like, let's say you jumped a triangle and you got taken down and you lost by 2 points. Like in the gym, like you have to acknowledge that. You can't just sort of keep training and hope you get better enough to beat the next guy. Ask yourself, like, what went wrong in the decision-making process, in the technical process, strategically, and, should I have jumped that triangle? Should I have done something differently? Whatever it may be, but just ask yourself those questions when you train, and eventually you'll smooth it out and you'll be a tougher grappler and you'll be harder to beat.
That's class. Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah, I really like the answer. I gotta ask as well. I know that you obviously do jiu-jitsu nearly every day, right? Training and competing. Yeah. Is there anything else you do apart from jiu-jitsu? I know you do seminars too, right? Is there anything else you do?
Anything else? I mean, we've been just lifting weights, definitely a huge part of our routine out here. There's been days where I wake up at like 7:30, get to lifting, start training before practice. In terms of like interesting things, not much, man. It takes up so much time. I don't do much else. We hang out on the beach sometimes. We in Jersey, I was getting super into playing Mario Kart at the house. That was fun on the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
But otherwise, no, man. Just gymnastics, weightlifting, and grappling. Yeah.
Talking about
That's much
weightlifting.
it, man. I'm boring.
No, man, you're living the dream. You're living the dream. Talking about weightlifting, I know that obviously, you know, you're constantly lifting weights, right? And you've gained a lot of muscle, and you can see that in your pictures as well, which is amazing. Like, congratulations, by the way. Do you think that's played a huge role in your jiu-jitsu and improving in your jiu-jitsu as well?
Yeah. So I've really only had the chance to compete once or twice, really, after sort of taking the time off to actually lift and eat and sleep properly. So I think it'll be a big difference in the Cade match from last time to this time. I think I'll feel a lot stronger. I think I'll feel a lot heavier for Cade. In training, I definitely feel a lot stronger. I feel like I can actually go forever without getting tired, without sort of, you know, when you start to get tired, you could still go, but then you're like, your strength isn't there. Your squeeze is kind of gone. I feel like I can hold on to that deeper into the rounds, deeper into the training sessions. Wrestling's been a huge factor in that as well. Like, I found wrestling has made the biggest jump thanks to actually lifting weights, which may sound stupid, but I feel like my legs were just like useless before, and now I'm actually I have like somewhat strong legs, even though they still look like linguini. I promise you they're strong. So that's been a big part of it. Your lower back strength, your squat strength, your deadlifting. That's I think it plays a huge role into wrestling. Yeah, as well as the rest of jiu-jitsu, but definitely wrestling.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. Yeah. Just before I let you go as well, Ethan, I gotta ask: is there anyone that you'd love to fight? Like, you have like a dream, you know? If they say to you, "Look, you can pick whoever you want to fight," who would you pick?
Yeah, well, I definitely want that rematch with Ash for sure. So I'll get that when I get to Europe. As for other guys here, definitely all the medalists at 66. You know, I was injured last ADCC, so I had to drop out of that. So Kennedy, Tanquinho, definitely would love those matches. Paulo Miao, I've wanted a match with him forever. I haven't seen him as much lately, so I'm not sure what he's up to, but definitely love a match with that guy. There was another guy. I just forgot. Everyone at my weight, pretty much, man. I've been dying to get out there again at 66 and get back into the mix.
In fights, honestly, like I think, like, you know, like Paulo Miao, that'll be an incredible fight.
Yeah. Oh, Gio. I've been trying to get a match with Gio forever now. It was actually funny. A little over a year ago, me and Gio were supposed to face off on a fight to win, and it was right as COVID broke out, so they shut down everything. We were in Texas ready for the fight to win. I was ready to go, and they cut it. So
no way.
Yeah, and doesn't look like I'm going to get that match again, but I'm hoping for it. But
I saw today that he actually got ranked number 10 in the weight category. I forgot which weight category it was, but he got ranked number 10 for it.
In 155 or 145.
I'm not 100% sure. I just remember he put a story up on his Instagram. He got ranked 10th, and because I know in his original weight category, right, he's like ranked number 2nd or 1st or something like that, right?
Yeah, I think he's number 1 at 145. Yeah, so he might be up on the 55 rankings now. Yeah, could be.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of these brothers, right, that are in jiu-jitsu, like Ash and Josh.
I would take a match with Boogie too. I would love a match with Boogie with Richie Martinez. I would take that in a second happily. Yeah, I tried to get that a few times on the SUG event, but I don't know, it didn't work out, or wasn't the right timing for Richie or something. It just didn't work out, but definitely would love a match with either of those guys.
Yeah. Do you think that's really tough to actually get fights? Like, you know, because I've seen Gordon say this a lot of times where a lot of people on social media, they're like, I'll fight you. And then behind those, they don't sign the contract, right?
Yeah.
Is that the case usually as well?
I think I think people are definitely scared of facing Gordon. In my sense, I think they just, I don't know. I don't call people out as much. People don't really call me out. I don't know. I've had an okay time finding matches. It's not easy, but it's not like as hard as it is for Gordon, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Oh, sorry. Last question now, Ethan. I know.
Yeah, go for it, man. No worries.
Do you think, is it hard to make a living from jiu-jitsu? Is it like a hard process? Because I know all these MMA fighters, you know, there's a lot of them that they can't even afford rent and they have to sleep in the gyms and stuff like that. Is it hard as a jiu-jitsu fighter to make a living?
So definitely at the beginning, it's nearly impossible. Like you won't make any money for a while. Like it's going to take a few breakout performances, and it's going to take, you know, some character. It's going to take some, you know, you got to have a cool story. You got to, whatever you're doing has to stick out and has to be something people want to see. And you have to be a person people want to learn from. You know, I did what I could to win as much as I could. I posted on Instagram as much as I could. I spoke with as many people as I could. I branched out. I, you know, marketed myself as best as I could. And here I am. I'm able to make, you know, a comfortable living. But beginning there was nothing. There was even, you know, COVID didn't exist. There was every opportunity available, and it's not easy for sure. So coming up stuff in Jiu-Jitsu, guaranteed. But that being said, it's not an Olympic sport, which arguably could make it easier for you to sort of break into making money off it, because anyone can compete from anywhere. You know, wrestling, you got to be part of the club. You got to go to a school to get to the highest levels. You got to go through a lot of formalities. And even then, the top guys, the guys that are like really, really good, like NCAA champs, like I don't know what they're making, but I don't know if it's as easy as it is for them to make the kind of money a jiu-jitsu athlete would make, who would be on the same caliber of skill as those wrestlers, but in the jiu-jitsu world. You know, sponsorships are different, seminars are different. It's just different. There's different opportunities in either sport. That being said, once you do sort of break through, it's definitely possible. You know, once you break out a couple times, events start to hit you up. You could start working for sponsorships. You could start getting, you know, programs where you're affiliated with gyms. You go teach seminars. So it's branching out. It's definitely growing, and it's cool to see like athletes from random corners of the world start sort of breaking out, making a scene, breaking out on the scene, and sort of you can see that they're able to sort of support themselves and start to make it. So that's super inspiring.
No, of course. Yeah. It's just consistency, right? You just got to keep going. You fail, you keep going,
Yeah, that's it. Just keep pushing. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. No, thank you so much, Ethan. Honestly, I really appreciate your time. I know, you know, you are a busy person, so I really respect you for that. What I'll do, guys, I'll leave all of Ethan's social media down below. Go and check him out. You won't be disappointed. It's just the start for you. You know, the future is definitely a bright one. But yeah, no, thank you so much again, and say hello to the rest of the squad as well.
Yes, sir, man. Have a good one, man. Thanks for having me.